Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships, where in today's video, I want to talk about asymmetric battles, as we are here in Neighbors domination mode. And if you're newer to asymmetric battles, maybe you're newer to World of Warships, asymmetric battles, Wargaming has been tweaking with it, with each of the last several updates that they've had this in the game, and then they've taken it out and then bring it back for temporary seasons. And basically what asymmetric battles is where you have 5 teammates, or 5 total, so technically 4 teammates, up against a large, vast, superior bot, or I don't know if I would say superior, superior in terms of numbers, bot forces. So this is a PVE game mode here in World of Warships, where I'm pretty sure I have this right, but yeah, you're up against 6 bots. Sorry, 12 bots in total. So it's a 5 versus 12 scenario, where you on your team you can have So right now I'm on the Adatara tier 9, and I think Curly's in a tier 8 in this one. So we have 9s and 8s as the bots will be in tiers 6 and 7. That's one of their way of balancing it out, so that you're not facing same tier ships. As an example, there'll always be a tier beneath you, or at least 2 tiers beneath you. So I don't want to talk about asymmetric battles. Just talk about this in general, now that I've explained more or less what it is. Asymmetric battles is a good investment, I believe, on Wargaming's part, in investing into the PVE audience of World of Warships. Now, maybe the PVE audience, I don't know, perhaps they're not a majority of the player base, but they certainly do make up a portion of the player base indeed, even if it is a minority. You have people who really enjoy not having to play against humans. They just want to relax. They want to play maybe some of their favorite warships. They want to not be a part of the toxicity that can happen more, like, for example, in randoms and ranked. Which I'm only saying that because, I mean, 1, I've seen it, but 2 is that's what I read in your guys' comments, and how you like these PvE modes, whether it's talking about co-op, asymmetric battles, operations. You just want to be able to play the game without people getting really worked up and invested in what's happening. So in that case, this is asymmetric battles is a really good place, I think, for Wargaming to invest more in the PvE, and giving us something new, giving us something different in the game that isn't just ops, isn't just co-op, as an example. Recently Wargaming, or last year in 2023, Wargaming invested in bringing back the old operations they had taken back. So I don't know how you want to phrase that, if it was as a thank you Wargaming, or finally Wargaming, you brought back these older operations that we've been wanting back in the game for some time. They expanded the tier list, so it wasn't just tier 6s and 7s, but also now you can take up tier 6, 7, and 8 across all the operations. So overall, just some really good decisions. I'm complimenting Wargaming for investing a bit more into the PvE, because there are people who play the game, who buy ships in the game, that really only want to participate in part of the PvE battle types here in World of Warships. So that's just overall good to see, and it is nice, even myself, sometimes I want some breaks from randoms, with some breaks from ranked. Just something a little different that doesn't maybe feel per se as challenging. I mean, of course, I have been in some asymmetric battles where we just simply lost. Sometimes you have standard battle, and then everyone spawns on the flanks, no one spawned in mid, and then the bots, there'd be destroyers all of a sudden. In this one we didn't have any destroyers, but then also you have destroyers. You're used to having all cruisers and battleships in the previous match, and the destroyer runs up and with 2 or 3 of them, and they just cap before you can even get back, especially if you're just playing in the battleship that doesn't move very fast. So there's some things that asymmetric teaches you to be mindful of, whether we're talking about positioning, whether we're talking about paying attention to your cap if you're in standard mode. When I was sitting down to record this video, it made me think of I did 3 videos. Maybe I only needed to do max 2. I was trying to cover different topics within it. But I did this video series. It wasn't for people who played randoms. It wasn't for people who played ranked. It was for the PVE players in World of Warships. As I'm laughing about having 1 spotted damage. I don't know how I managed to pull that off. But I did it for PVE players in World of Warships. And the title of these 2 or 3 videos was how to win co-op. Now, the PVE people were happy. Okay? The randoms, the sweaty tryhards, if you will, showed up, and you would have thought I insulted their mother to their face in front of them, right? It was rather ironic, and I was like, well, this is like, this video is not for you. It's, you know, you don't like playing co-op, you've only played 10 co-op battles in the 3 years you've played World of Warships, fine, whatever, that's cool. Some of the videos that I'll make on this channel isn't for everybody, right? I get that. But the PvE people seemed happy with just some things I pointed out. And it's just the bot algorithm, right? What to pay attention for, what to look out for. Just like I said, if you're playing standard battles in asymmetric battles, then you need to pay attention to the cap. You need to have a teammate sitting on the cap. That's how you would win asymmetric in that regard. That's one of the tips or tricks, if you will, of how to pull wins out of the asymmetric battles, because some, in my experience, more tend to get lost just because, oh shoot, there's no one on the cap. Now we got to get back in time, and then you're all the way over on the 8-9 line, because, you know, for us as example in this game, we're trying to get more on the side of the enemy battleships and cruisers so we can get some more punishing salvos in with the Adatara with these 457 guns, which I've done a video on. Maybe I try to remember to a Friday highlight upgrade commander build video. One of those I'll at least put on the end of this video. But in my opinion, it's really good to see Wargaming investing into the asymmetric meta. It's also fun because, you know, here I'm with a couple of my clanmates, and we're just chilling out. We're helping Curly do some grinding on the Amagi, as he had to back off because he was getting really focused by the bots, so I'm moving up now to try to draw some attention off of him. Wargaming had a little bit of, there's a little bit of problem, I would say, in the beginning, is that they had programmed the bots to focus on the low health targets. So naturally that meant that if you were a cruiser, you always got focused by the enemy bots. The battleship could, like, for example, let's say I was a cruiser right now, and Curly is in Amagi, and he's 5-6 kilometers closer to the Nagato. The Nagato would still focus me because I'm in the cruiser, because I have a smaller hit point pulse. So that was really annoying, but it was maybe fun for the cruiser players who wanted a lot of attention from bots, whether you're trying to get potential damage. It was a great place to farm potential damage in that regard, so another way of taking advantage of a PvE game for combat missions. But they've changed that since, so then they kind of, I don't remember what it was that they did, but I think they kind of, like, if my health pool starts dipping down lower than Curly's in the other battleship, they'll start focusing Curly again, and they'll give me a break. So that's kind of how I think Wargaming worked on the bot algorithm in that regard. So then the match wasn't over as fast. Maybe for you as a cruiser or a destroyer player, in that regard, if you were a destroyer player who was being spotted, or, you know, open gunboating as an example. So, I hope to see more Wargaming do maybe a little bit more with asymmetric battles. I don't know necessarily what that would mean or what that would entail, but I like the current iteration of asymmetric battles, and I hope it is a battle type that they, you know, regularly have in seasons here in the game in World of Warships. So, I'll be interested to know, what are your thoughts on asymmetric battles? You know, the comments are there, whether you enjoy PvE or you don't, right? But do understand that Wargaming is trying to introduce some different battle types, in whether it be PvP or PvE, to I don't know what the English word is I'm looking for. I feel like I forget English words as I'm learning Norwegian more and more and more. Trying to be, do their due diligence, question mark? I don't know if I can say that, if that's accurate or not. but just trying to please, I guess that's what I was looking for, please their PvP audience, please their PvE audience, which I feel like maybe Wargaming is seeing is actually a good portion of the player base. Even if it's not the majority, they still represent a portion of the player base here in World of Warships. So if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And thanks to those of you who support me on Patreon. So until next time, take care.